J-Drone here. What's going on, guys? Got the Audi out, and we're going to test stock battery versus Lipos, and we're also testing these. This is a big review on these things. They're Lipo battery beeper checkers. We'll get to that when we put the Lipo on it. Basically, what's going on here is we're utilizing the stock battery. We have two ESCs, one running the rear motors and one running the front steering. Without any further ado, let's go ahead and hit our toggle here. You can see down there that beep, the blinking, that's our receiver. We're going to go ahead and put the seat down. We're going to go ahead and turn our jumper on.
Welcome to jumper DX. Switch warning.
And steering. We should have our steering. We got it. It's just sticking a little bit. We should get going and then it'll go. So this is a fresh charged stock battery. As you can see, there's not a lot of speed to it. We'll go ahead and turn it this way. Turning radius isn't great. I mean, it can go over stuff like this. We'll go over this way, which is pretty impressive. Like, again, top speed on this is not great, but as far as off-terrain abilities, look at this. It wants to climb up the tree. It's pretty impressive. Bam. We'll go ahead and run this a little bit more, and then we'll stick the Lipo in it. And as you can see, the steering needs a little assistance. You really got to be on your mark with it, because if it gets off-centered, there ain't nobody coming. Then it'll just twist one way or another. And we'll just, very little spinach, as you can show. I'm trying to spin the tire up. Very little ability to do so. Again, this would be perfect for a young child that you would want to drive around in. I want a little bit more speed on it, so we're going to test it with the Lipo right now. And all we're going to do is pop the seat up. I'm going to go ahead and turn off my toggle here. Turn off the toggle. And we got to get our Lipos. We're going to be using two of these, two 7.4s, to increase it to basically the voltage of a 4-cell. Because we will have 4 cells. I'm going to use two of those. Going to have my wiring harness, but before we get to that, I want to show you these. Again, what I told you, this is kind of a review of these things here. If you're using Lipo batteries and you don't have an LVC warning like most drones do, or you're using race drones and you don't get a built-in beeper, this is the way to go. All you got to do is plug these in. You want negative, far down. You don't plug it into there. Showing you how to use them and working them wrong. That's really loud. And what this does is give you a count on all cells. 1 cell, which is really tough to see. 2 cells. All cells. That's, I don't know why that's showing up like that in the camera. Hopefully you can see some of that. That's really tough to see. But it gives you a voltage outlay on them. And then once the voltage gets so low, it'll start beeping. Ideally, you only need one of these on there, but I'm going to put one on each just in case one battery drains lower than whichever one goes off first. And I put that on wrong. There we go. Okay, and now we are going to put our wire harness on. And again, the way this is wired up is just like that. The positive is going to run up through here. The negative and positive is going to connect, and then the final negative is going to be there, and that'll equal 7.4 times 2. So it'll be a little bit greater voltage than this battery. And before we do that, I'm going to disconnect these leads off of here. I'm going to take the battery out. The reason I'm going to take the battery out is because this battery weighs considerably more than those two batteries do. We're just going to set this over here. We're going to plug these in, and then it'll be simple wire, splice and wire, and then I will tape off the positive just for safety precautions once we get it twisted on. Go ahead and put this over here. I'll try to link as much as I can down below of stuff that I'm using. These batteries are on Vipin dirt cheap, guys. I picked up 4 of them because I actually had planned on running 4 of these in this, but right now I got off work, so I figured we'll just get 2 charged up and we'll run 2 in it and see how it goes. So I got the negative, which I'm not going to tape up right now. It's mostly plastic in here. I'm just going to wrap that around there. And then my positive, which I have over here away from the other wire, we will tape up. And you know what, I might tape up the negative too, so you can get that nice and taped. And I got electrical tape in my pocket. Just going to take a line off it. We're not going to make this look beautiful or anything. And actually I will. I'll tape both of them up. I'm just going to come over both lines. I'm going to come underneath it, and we'll do that once more, just so the positive and negative do not touch here. And then we'll come back over top and over. Again, not going for pretty, just going for temporary here. And now what we'll do, we will go ahead and turn on our receiver, and you can see the one ESC blinking. I'm not sure where the other ESC is in here, but we're good to go. And we should see an immediate gain. We do. It's not breakneck speed. And again, you get on uneven terrain, your steering will junk up just a little bit. But we got a little bit of gain. You can see I'm able to twist the tires quite a bit now. Turning radius is not great as we knock over the battery. As far as range goes, guys, even though my receiver antenna is not sticking out of the car, I'm pretty sure I got epic range on this. And it's not proportional steering. I mean, I have a little bit more proportional than what the stock toy grade remote was, just for the simple fact that I can kind of just feather to the left and feather to the right, and it gives me like 2 extra positions instead of all the way to the left, all the way to the right. And we'll just go ahead and stand up, that way we're linear with it. And then we will go ahead and turn it around. Bring it on back. For me, this is not enough speed, and dumping two more batteries in this, the way that I was going to wire them up, isn't going to give me any more speed either. There's also something that I thought about. I'm using thin wires. I might not be allowing as much voltage that could be going through with thicker wires to be going through, so that might be something as well. But I think the next thing for me is to increase it to almost what a 5S would be, but I think I got to increase my ESCs. These ESCs I'm using are excellent. They're only rated for 2S, but I'm running 4S on them. You can see that. And skirt, skirt. And again, you can see we're able to twist them up. And another thing that I had thought of, right now I have 1 ESC per rear motor. If I ran 2 ESCs per motor and also a dedicated battery per each motor, I think this would gain considerable speed. But from stock battery, it's doing better. It's not where I'd like it to be, but it is definitely doing better. Alright guys, I'm Jay Drone. This was a quick look at it. Again, I would like to get some speed on this. I'd like to get some serious speed on this, like just have it ripping up and down. I don't know if it's going to be able to happen just by increasing voltage on this or not. But for now, that's what we're doing. We're increasing voltage, and eventually we'll increase voltage to the point where we blow the rear motors, and then we will get a different motor on it. You can see there's a little gap here. I don't have that screwed in. It's clipped all the way around, but then you're supposed to screw it in. I don't have the screws in it just because I'm not done messing with this. Once I get a final product, then we'll get it all back together. Guys, I'm J Drone. If you haven't subscribed, please do. And again, I'll link those batteries down below. They're on Vipin. If you haven't used Vipin, it's a site where you can get stuff really cheap. You just copy the code, go to Amazon, and get the discount immediately. Don't need to pay a membership fee or anything. Jumper T16 Pro will link down below. My batteries, let's check our batteries. So we barely used any juice. Let's see, 4.15, 4.14, 4.15, 4.14. All cells are 8.2. This other one, again, I don't know how well that's coming up on the camera here, but we got all first cell 4.15, second cell 4.14. So before we end this, we're just gonna send it a little bit more. So we can probably run this for a considerable amount of time. Off-roading. All right, guys, I'm J Drone. If you haven't subscribed, smash subscribe.